Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Mensch. Today, I'm going to use the Arch Linux automated installer called Arch Install to install Arch Linux with the Mate desktop. And I'm going to use their profile section. So I'm not going to use my GitLab repository or my scripts. Okay? So let's get to it. Okay, so I booted up onto a virtual machine of Arch Linux with the live ISO. And normally I make my font super large, but today, well, let's do it. So first thing I'm going to do is set font tier -132B. And I'm going to select my mirrors manually, and I'm also going to change the Pacman conf. I'm going to do vim etc Pacman conf, and I'm going to jump down. I'm going to turn on verbose package list, which doesn't work with such a large font, but I want to turn on the parallel downloads. And I'm going to select my mirrors manually, so I'm going to clear the screen. Oh, I didn't save that, eh? Right, let's quit. Okay, that's better. And I'm going to clear the screen, and I'm going to set my mirrors manually. So let's do vim etc pacman d mirror list. And I'm going to make America package build the first one, and constant second, and I'm going to hit my V. I'm going to go down. Let's just do this. Let's go down to the bottom. Oops. Let's go down to the bottom. Let's delete them. And let's save it. Let's sync the mirrors. Pacman -SYY. And now I'm going to change the font because this large font doesn't work well in Arch Install. On the December 1st ISO, Arch Install had a kind of a revamp. It looks a bit different, and the large font doesn't work in Arch Install properly. Not on my monitor anyways. So I'm going to change the font. I'm going to do set font tier -122B. That should be okay. I know it's smaller, but it's not as small as the regular font because this is the regular font. Look at that, eh? So I'm going to change it back. And let's type in Arch Install. Just loading it up. And I'm going to go to locales. And I'm going to go to language. I'm going to go to Canada. And I'm going to go back. And I'm going to skip the mirrors because I did it manually. This configuration, partitioning, use best effort. Use my space bar to put an X there. It's a 50 gig hard drive in this virtual machine. I'm going to make it ext4. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to skip encryption. I'm not going to do it this time. And then swap. I don't like swap, so I'm going to say no. And bootloader is grub. I'm going to skip unified kernel images. Hostname is Arch Linux. That's good. Root password is that. And I'm going to put my root password in again. I'm going to let the system create a user account for me. Usually I do this manually, but I'm going to let Arch Install do it for me. Add a user. Mench's password. Put Mench's password in again. Make him a super user. Yes. So Mensch is going to have sudo privileges. And like I said, usually I do this. Confirm and exit. Usually I do this manually, but I'm going to let the system do it for me. I always skip profile and do a base install. Then I install my GitLab repository and use my post-install scripts to install all my favorite apps, window managers, and desktop environments. I always skip profile, but this time I'm going to use profile. I'm going to click it on, type, desktop, and you have all of this choice here. And I'm going to click on Mate. Where did it go? There it is. And I don't know if you pronounce it Mate or Mate. I think it's Mate. Could be Mate. I'm going to use my space bar and put an asterisk in there. And it's going to install Mate and Mate Extra. I'm going to hit enter. Now, selected profiles Mate installed packages is going to give me Htop, Nano, OpenSSH, Smart Tools or Smart Monitor Tools, Vim, wget, wireless tools. Good. This is nice. And I'm going to go the graphic drivers. It's going to give me all these. Greeter. It's going to go with LightDM. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to go back. And so the profile is giving me Mate, all open source graphic drivers, and LightDM Greeter. Audio, I'm going to click on Pulse Audio. Kernel, I'm going to leave it on the standard stable kernel. Network configuration, I'm going to go with Network Manager. Additional packages, I'm going to do, I think was it already installing Vim? Didn't notice if it was installing Vim. I can't remember now. I don't feel like going back. Well, I could go back. So let's do git and terminus font. I think it said it was going to give me Vim, but let's go back. You can see additional packages right now are just git and terminus font. And I'm going to go back to profile, click it on. Oh, yes, it's giving me Vim and Nano. Okay, good. Let's go back. And I think we're done. Yes, let's do time zone, Canada. So I don't usually do the install this way, but today I'm going to. Canada Eastern. And let's install. So this is going to take about 5 minutes. So I'm going to pause the video and come back, and we're going to take a look at the Mate desktop environment. So don't go away. I'll be back. Okay, finished. So it took about 5 minutes. Would you like to root into the new installation and make changes? No. Want to boot into it. So I'm just going to say no. And installation is complete. There was no errors. So I'm going to reboot. And we're going to boot into the new system. And if it worked properly, LightDM should come up. And I'm going to make this full screen because it is a virtual machine, right? Well, like I said, normally I just do a really base install, and I use my post-install scripts from my GitLab repository to install all my favorite apps and window managers and desktop environments. But this time I used Profile. So let's put my password in, and let's see if we can get into the Mate desktop. And it's nice and green. So we have two bars. We have one at the top and one at the bottom. And I'm going to go into System, Preferences. Now, I'm not that familiar with the Mate desktop. Let's go to Control Center. Let's make it full screen and see if we can find Display. Let's see here. Here it is, Displays. Let's click it on. I like to make my virtual machines 1360 by 768. Apply system-wide. Oh, it's asking for my password. Isn't that interesting? The monitor configuration has been saved. And apply. Keep this configuration and close it. Oh, that's better. Okay, so this is the Mate desktop environment. Now, if you install Mate from another distribution, it's probably going to look different. It's probably going to be themed a lot nicer. But in Arch Linux, when you install a desktop environment, you get it the way it's given to them. So Arch Linux doesn't go out of their way to theme desktop environments, regardless of which one you're using. But like I said, if you're installing Manjaro or Linux Mint or some other distribution that gives you the Mate desktop, it's going to be themed nicer. But in Arch Linux, you get your base. Okay, so we have two bars. We have a bottom bar. We have 4 workspaces here. You can see, and actually, my face is in the way. Like I said, we have 4 bars. On the bottom bar, we have 4 workspaces right here. And we have on the top bar, you got your clock, your date, your volume control, your network. And here you have icons on your desktop. Let's click on that. There's our file manager. It's a little bit old-fashioned looking, eh? Like something that's kind of old. Here's our trash can. We have 4 menus up here. We have an application menu, a places menu, and a system menu. Let's take a look at the application menu. Accessories gives us a Mate calculator. Oh, that's different looking. Different than the GNOME calculator, eh? Let's go back. Mate font viewer, Mate search tool, Luma, Well, that's for edit. Pluma is a text file editor. And internet. Oh, they didn't give us a web browser, so we're going to have to install a web browser. Office, they didn't give us any Office. They gave us a document viewer, the Atrial document viewer, and it's a very good document viewer. It's nice and light. System tools, they gave us Htop, so let's see what we're running at. Wow. Wow. And I know it's a little hard to see, right? Can I change the colors in this? Oops. Let's go back to our terminal. Let's go to the Mate terminal. They give you their own terminal. Let's make it full screen. And let's see if I can edit this just to bring in some larger font and better colors, right? Okay, here we are. Colors. Custom font to set. Oh, I see. And let's do white on black. And can we do bold? Let's cancel that. I'm not that familiar with this. Can we just make the font larger? Use system font. Let's do monospace bold. And let's kick it up. Ah, nice. I like that. Let's close it. And now let's do an Htop. Ah, that's better. So, I gave this virtual machine, like I always do, 4 gigs of RAM, no swap, and 4 processors. And we're running at 351 megabytes of RAM. Now, I know a lot of times when I'm doing videos on my window managers, they say, hey, we're running at 200 megabytes of RAM or 300 megabytes of RAM. Isn't that amazing? And it is. But this is really amazing because this is a full-fledged desktop environment. This is not a window manager. So just in case you don't know, if you're new to Linux, window managers use a lot less resources and RAM than full-fledged desktop environments. And some desktop environments use a gig of RAM when you have no apps open. So this Mate is a full-fledged desktop environment, and it's only running at 356 megabytes of RAM. That is amazingly low for a full-fledged desktop environment. I'm really impressed. Let's close the terminal, and let's see what else we have. Mate Desk Usage Analyzer. Oh, that's interesting. 52 gigs. We're only using, so this whole install is only using 5.7 gig. Not bad. I like this. Kind of retro too, eh? System tools. So we have Htop. We already looked at that. We already looked at the usage analyzer. We have a system monitor. We have our terminal. We have our file manager. Let's close that. And then we have places. We have home folder, desktop, computer, connect to server, Mate search tool, and then we have system. We have preferences, hardware, look and feel, appearance. Let's go to appearance. Oh, so can we change the appearance? Let's go black Mate. We have a whole lot of choices here. Let's close that. And now let's go back to our file manager. Ah, we have a dark theme. Still a little bit old looking though, eh? So we have system. So I went into preferences. We have look and feel, screensaver and Windows. We have control center. We have lock screen. Let's go to the control center. And I think I already went in there. And let's make that. We have display, which we already went into. We have power manager. Put the computer to sleep or inactive, never. But turn the display off 30 minutes. I'm going to change that to never. And I'm going to close that. And system information, date and time. We have appearance, startup applications, file manager, preferred applications. How about backgrounds? Do they have any backgrounds? Change desktop background. Oh, here you are. Okay. They give you some wallpapers. I wonder what that one's like. Oh, nice. And you can't really see this, eh? You know what? I'm going to change it back to a light theme. Go to control. There it's it's kind of bright, eh? Let's go to custom. Let's go to green submarine. I like the name of it. I wonder what the default one was. Yeah, I kind of like that in too, eh? So let's go call up the terminal again. Mate terminal. And let's type in sudo pacman s Firefox. It didn't give us a web browser. Most desktop environments don't. And let's put my password in. And let's install Firefox. Let's exit out of there. Here we have Firefox. Can we change this font? Let's go back here. Comes with iMate image viewer, just for showing images and pictures and stuff. And so let's see if we can change the font. Oh, it has screensaver here. Look at that. Can change it to 5 minutes. I don't use screensaver though, so I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to go into Power Manager. Oh, I have it at never and never. That's good. And let's close this. Let's go into Appearance. Oh, we have fonts here. So we have backgrounds here, like we looked at before. Now let's click on that one. And let's do fonts. Let's do, let's make it sans bold, and let's kick it up to 12. Oh, wow. So you know what? I kind of like this Mate. It's really neat. And do they have right click? They don't have much on the right click. So let's just open up a terminal again. Let's go into Htop. So we've been running all those programs. I opened up Firefox. We're still only running at 399 megabytes of RAM. Let's do preferences. 12-hour format. Okay, nice. Locations, weather. I guess I should put my location in 8. Can I do Toronto? Let's do Toronto, Canada. Okay, and let's close this. Can we close it? Close that. So we changed it to PM, which I really like. It's Friday, December 13th. And it's changed the time to PM. And I didn't see any weather. I saw a weather thing there. I don't see any weather. Oh, there's the weather. There's a few clouds. It's -7 degrees Celsius. Feels like -13 Celsius. The winds are from the west. Sunrise is 7:41 a.m. Sunsets 4:38 p.m. I'm really impressed. And let's close that. And that's it. In this video, I did several things that I don't normally do. Number one, I used the Arch Linux Automated Installer Arch Install with profiles. So normally when I do an Arch install, regardless of whether I do it manually or use the automated installer called Arch Install, I always do a base install, download my GitLab repository, and download and use my automated scripts, my post-install automated scripts to install all my favorite desktop environments, window managers, and apps. So this time I didn't do it. I used the Arch Linux automated installer called Arch Install, and I used their profiles, and I let them make a user for me, give me sudo privileges, and I let it install a desktop environment for me, and I installed the Mate desktop environment. And you know what? I'm really impressed. It's really lightweight for a full-fledged desktop environment to run on 360 megabytes of RAM, almost like a window manager. That's really low. And I know it's a bit retro looking, it's a bit older looking, but it has just the tools you're going to need. It has absolutely no bloat. And if it doesn't have something you need, so you download it from the Arch Linux repository or from the AUR. So I'm really impressed. You know, I used it maybe for a couple of weeks, maybe 4 years ago, and I never went back to it. And it's kind of nice. You know, if you're not a window manager type of person and you want to use a desktop environment that's light on system resources, Mate is the way to go. I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I am the Linux Mensch.